Yes.
Here.
We have the wrong date on our,
I guess you do have.
I do this thing, state, that should be 14, not 2013.
That's right.
I only
You've
read
been
what's in,
drinking.
I know.
I only read what's in
I
front
know.
of me.
I would have done the same thing. I just looked up and Peggy was going, like she said, Twilight Zone.
2014. How's that? All right. Has everyone had a chance to read the minutes from the August 4th meeting? If so, I need a motion to accept.
So moved.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Neil?
Yes.
Joe?
Yes.
Ralph?
Yes.
Bill? Mary Jane?
Yes.
Kathy?
Yes.
Everyone has had a chance to look at the minutes from the special meeting on the 8th. I need a motion to accept.
I moved to accept those minutes.
Or the 11th. Can't read it all.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Mary Jane?
Yes.
Kathy? Yes. Bill?
Yes.
Ralph?
Yes.
Joe?
Yes.
Neil?
Yes.
Need a motion to approve the warrants and payroll timesheets, please.
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Roll call, please.
Kathy?
Yes.
Bill? Mary Jane?
Yes.
Joe?
Yes.
Ralph?
Yes.
Neil?
Yes.
Need a motion to approve the transfer of the police revenue from the general fund to the police fund, please.
So moved.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Ralph?
Yes.
Joe?
Yes.
Bill? Neil?
Yes.
Mary Jane?
Yes.
Kathy?
Yes.
Need a motion to approve the police fund monthly operating fund transfer, please.
So moved.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Joe?
Yes.
Ralph?
Yes.
Bill? Neil?
Yes.
Kathy?
Yes.
Mary Jane?
Yes.
Need a motion to approve the interest transfer, please.
So
I'll second that.
Roll call, please.
Mary Jane?
Yes.
Kathy?
Yes.
Ralph?
Yes.
Bill? Neil?
Yes.
Joe?
Yes.
Floor is yours, Mr. Smallwood.
Basically, I've been talking to, I need to stand over here, so
Yeah, if you could. Is this the one that was right?
Yeah.
basically, I've just been talking to some concerned citizens around, Steve Moore, among others. And we'd like to do a feasibility of saving a portion of the school here, the old school. And basically, all I'm asking is, from September 24th, or excuse me, from September 10th through the 24th, to make a few inspections up there, with a group of individuals, some being professionals, some being local people, some being contractors, at no cost, obviously, just to ascertain whether a portion of it could be salvaged reasonably speaking, with not a whole lot of cost. The only reason I'm here tonight is because we've been talking about this, but last fall, when I went up there and looked at it, at that time, it looked like it could be salvaged, the racing portion. Now, I don't know how much it's degraded since a year from now, or since I was up there last time, but anyhow. I can't go up there and inspect it one time, I need several dates. And I'm just asking permission to do that tonight.
Are you talking about the gymnasium part?
Now, we'd also like to look at the old school too, just to see if there's something in there salvageable that we think, you know. This is just an independent group of local citizens, you know. We don't have any big agenda or anything, just we'd like to take a look at it on our own. And since I'm retired now, I don't have anything to do, I thought I'd champion the cause. I mean, I have experience in construction, I'm not an engineer, obviously, but I have a lot of acquaintances, friends, contractors that I used to work with, that, but by all means, they'll walk through it.
Maybe you could talk to your nephew into coming up here and taking a look at that. Maybe you got some.
Uh,
Brian.
Oh, yeah.
He is a contract engineer.
He is an engineer.
That's right.
Well, I think that'd be fine. I was going to have Fred Gross look at the roof before we made any rash decisions, but we're on a holding pattern. We're just out there looking for money right now. We walked the school, the gymnasium. It would be the best part of the building to try and save, and people walk through its opinion. Whether it's economical feasible or not, that's a major question. Then on this study to get in there. I don't have a problem with it. I don't think.
No, I think it'd be great, to tell you the truth.
So,
Well,
yeah,
curious you brought up Freddie's name because I called him last year. I had worked with Freddie on several
yeah,
projects.
I know very well. So,
And, he's on, he's out of town right now.
he's in a room, I know where he's at, he's in a room.
Anyhow, and that's the reason why I set this up through the 24th, but he's not supposed to be back till
10
10
days.
So I want him to, do an inspection.
The floor is, probably hasn't changed much since you were in there last. There's one section of the floor that's buckled up that can be salvaged. I don't really think the roof is what's leaking. I think it's actually the gutters on the side of the building that catches. I think that's where the water's coming down the inside of the walls. I think that's where it's coming from. But still, the roof needs to be looked at. And, of course, a feasibility study would be great because, the old heating system in there and everything else in there, you just don't know what kind of money you're looking at to salvage and to operate if you did salvage it. So you would compare the old to the new, well, who knows what's going to happen.
Well, there's even site work that has to be considered. I mean, there's a whole bunch of things that need to be looked at.
To me, I think that'd be a real good idea, that's a professional people in there,
Yeah.
to take a look at it.
Well,
Because how else are we gonna know?
And it doesn't cost anything.
You know, well, that's cool, that's
But
great, that's even
I
better.
will tell you now that when you go through it, you guys need to have some masks on because the last time I went through it, I was understood for the next 2 hours. It's pretty nasty. So I would suggest masks when you walk through it.
When we was up there last year, I thought the same thing. It looked like debris had gathered up around the scuppers, and then water was running down the inside of the building.
I think that's where the water of the gym's coming from. The elementary and the main part of the old school is pretty deteriorated. Pretty deteriorated. Welcome to take a look at it.
Rick, how about south of the gym?
Pardon me?
How about the building part south of the gym?
The offices?
Yeah. Or is that salvage?
That's,
Are you including that, Steve?
Yes.
Okay.
take a look at it. It smells pretty bad in there. I'm sure it could be renovated. I'm sure they could probably get rid of the smell in there. I mean, the professional people could probably come in there and do that. It's all, whether it's feasible, financially feasible to keep pumping money into an old building. I mean, that's what's, and this study will be greatly appreciate the professional opinion on it.
We're not, if it was just a metal building or something, it would make no sense to try to salvage it. Brick and mortar is a whole different animal, so.
Absolutely. And like I say, we're a long way from doing anything with the building. We've got Susan looking for money to tear it down. She's even talking about putting some bids out here. Thought she might be here tonight with some suggestions about maybe, well, we'll wait till you guys come in and see what you have to say. But we even thought about, trying to get some people to come in and salvage a lot of the wiring and all that stuff and get a price on what they would pay us for that versus tearing it down, do the math, see where we stand. So there's, all options are on the table at this point. So welcome your input.
One question for you. Do you have any blueprints of the building?
I do not.
You can get them at the school. I believe I got some information on the asbestos at one time. That's all I asked for. Mr. Tushlag, oh no, is he over the buses? I don't remember.
He's over buses.
I don't know. So I don't know who you contact for the building, but
Probably
I think
superintendent,
it was,
you know?
Well, I'm sure if you talk to him, he would have
He would have to tell you
information
where to go.
steer you to the right person.
But no, when you get ready to do that, if you'll just contact me or the chief, we'll look at the key and get in there and take a look. We welcome your
You
opinion.
may contact you. I mean, I don't care if it's up to
You can call me or the chief. The chief has the keys to get us in the building up there.
you. Just, I'll get you here once in a while.
Yeah, if you contact the chief, he'll contact me. I'll try to be there too.
I'll
He'll
give you-
probably be there.
I'll give you a day's warning.
Okay.
Right now, I'd like to set it up for this coming Friday at 1 o'clock. Okay.
This coming Friday? So Freddie won't be back, so you're just going to inside and get his opinion later on? Okay, yeah, that's fine with me.
I mean, electrical has, other than structure, electrical's got to be looked at, heating, ventilating.
There's
Sure.
all kinds of electrical in there.
I thought there was a somewhat modern-looking boiler in there when I was up there before, but I have no idea if it was to heat the south end.
There's a boiler in there, but the old boiler hasn't been used in a long time. Mr. McMahon had some new furnaces in parts of the building in there. but you're out of my league and more in your league, so we just have to take a look at it.
I just wondered if it was gas or oil, or
I'm sure it was gas.
is there still tanks?
Last time that was used was '96, that's when the school got rid of it.
Does anybody know if there's still tanks buried up there?
I do not.
Okay, well, you don't mind, 1 o'clock Friday, we'll start the process.
That'd be fine, appreciate the,
I try to have some sort of report to you the next council.
appreciate it. Thank you.
That'd be great, that'd be good, but yeah, I'd like to see somebody take a
Well,
look.
it'd be nice if we could salvage the gym, and make a youth center up there for the kids here in town, it'd be great. You know, we've done some cleanup up there right now, took some trees down, took a lot of weeds down, you know, it's looking better. Actually, I've had Billy up there taking the post down around the basketball court, he started on that today. It looks better. It was, I mean, there was no need for the post there without the tennis nets anymore, so we're doing a little here, a little there, trying to get it cleaned up, so. Any input we can get, is appreciated.
Okay, I appreciate that.
Don't we have a council group that is assigned to that?
We do have a committee, yeah, on Ralph and Joe and me, so, you know, just contact all of us. I'm sorry, Ralph, I didn't mean to leave anybody out, so. And we're gonna ask somebody off of the, chamber, but I never got around to asking them because we haven't had a meeting.
Well, I mean,
But I was thinking
you guys
about,
are obviously,
thinking about the Reverend up there in Memphis.
at
He
1 o'clock
sent
Friday,
me
if you
some,
want to come in.
he has sent me some emails on some things that he'd like to question too, so I'll try and contact him.
Just make sure our policeman's there, make sure nobody steal copper or anything.
I'm surprised they haven't already.
I am too, that's just what I was thinking.
You'll have to hold your breath a long time to steal stuff.
What do you
in there.
think is creating, is it sewer backed up or something?
No, I think it's mold.
Mold.
It's just dampness and mold. It gets, the gym not so bad, but the farther into the building you get, the worse it gets.
Well, you know, it's been closed up, then plus the wind is busted out and everything
You
else.
better-
I was hoping the elementary
No, I
part,
haven't.
I was
I wanna
hoping
see
the
it.
elementary part was salvageable, but after looking at it, anything's salvageable if you got enough money.
Yeah.
But
When I looked at it, all the water joists, for instance, were rusted. The decking was completely gone, well, 90% gone. So you'd have to put all new steel structure and metal decks, obviously new windows and all that. So at that point,
yeah,
it's
Right.
it's not.
Right.
yeah,
But the gymnasium with the audacious foundations it has underneath. it.
right.
It would be nice to be able to salvage that, I really would like to.
That end of the building is probably salvageable, it's just what the number is, and number one, once we decide that, the second question is where do we get the money?
Right.
But, you know, we got Susan Hook for money, so, you know, we don't know. I know the state has put $8 million here recently into the Park of Ohio, and that's, we've just applied for $28,000. $32,200 to be exact, but we got to put up some money, we actually get 28 or 26.
24, I think, is what it says in the minutes. I thought it was 28 also, but the minutes are reading 24,000.
Well, somewhere in that neighborhood anyway. We've applied for that. We won't know about that probably until, I think, the end of the month, I think Susan said. So hopefully there's a little bit of money to start with there.
But that's a county-wide money, isn't it? It's not designated.
That money is statewide, but Preble County always gets an X numbers of dollars every year
That
from the
doesn't
state.
mean we get that much money.
No.
There's no guarantee that we get anything, we apply for it. But we do have a hand up because we're the only village in Preble County that doesn't have a park,
Public park, there's nothing.
public park. So it does put us above the rest as for applying for this money. Whether we get it or not, that's two different things.
Do you know if you have,
Susan's pretty good at what she does, so.
do you have to get this surveyed?
We did not have it surveyed. We had Mr. McMahon sent us the deed with the survey.
Like all of, all the legal description
Yeah.
is there.
So he literally just donated it back to the village is what he did. So like last year, there was actually money out there last year to tear it down. There was a grant, but we didn't own it. We couldn't apply.
Right.
So, and now that grant is no longer in existence. So
Did you have a cost estimate to tear the entire structure?
we have not had a cost estimate to have that done yet. We do not. Susan was working on that. She gave us an estimated cost, but we have nothing in writing. And then we'll listen for your input on that. And my opinion is that there's so much brick and cement and stuff there, a grinder would go along with one of the big grinders. grinder to grind a whole lot of that building up, I would think.
Yeah, it just depends on if that's a necessary thing to go through or not, because what can you do with the regrind? You know,
Well,
if the masonry's one, or the brick's one thing, but there's not that much concrete in the old structure.
actually, the floors are concrete except for the second floor. There's 4 classrooms, it's hardwood, the rest of it's concrete.
Right.
And the third floor is concrete. So there is quite a bit of concrete in there.
But I don't know, once you tear that building, once you tear that building down, it's gonna create a big hole in the top.
That's what,
And I don't know what specifications it has to have for compaction as far as what you can put back in.
right, exactly, that's all stuff we
I
gotta
don't
find
know
out.
that-
But we were hoping that the regrindings could go back in there because, you know, if you can grind it up and put it back in the hole versus hauling it to landfill,
Yeah.
landfill's the most expensive part,
Right.
or a whole lot of the part about tearing it down. So if you can avoid the landfill, you're money hit the game right there, so.
But I don't know how hard that brick is being at age, you know,
Right.
and I don't know, it may be fine, I don't know.
And that's more your
I was-
line
I
than
spent-
ours, so.
I spent my career building things, not tearing them down,
Right.
but rehabilitating buildings too, so
Yeah. We
demolition wasn't my big forte.
we definitely welcome the professional input on it.
Right.
Thank you for that.
Thank you.
Anybody got any questions, other questions? Thank you, guys.
Thank you, gentlemen.
See you.
See you Friday.
Thanks, everybody.
Bye, Peggy.
Committee reports, chief.
The police department handled 114 calls for service in August, we took 14 reports, made 1 arrest, issued 7 citations, 3 warnings, and impounded 4 vehicles.
That's all I got at this point. Thank you. Billy?
Yes, I've got something. I asked Billy to get an estimate on putting the doors on the old bus barn. He went to Smart Construction and House of Doors, and he gave us a bid of $4,675 to do all doors. And that's tearing them down, putting up the new ones, putting up the seals, the doors, the tracking, everything. So if you break that down, it comes out to $779 a door. We can't even buy the doors for that.
No, we couldn't.
To me, I think that'd be the best way to go on that, and start using that building for ourselves. And I think it'd go a long way to getting things back on track.
There's no floor in that building, is there? Is there a floor?
Yes.
Is there?
Cement.
Okay.
Partial cement and partial no floor.
Okay.
But it's still, we can put a lot of our equipment in there. There's snow plows, the box, a lot of things, and I think it'd be smart to start using that building even now. And then we can look at putting on metal siding onto it later, or doing whatever, fixing and keeping it.
I mean, if it's in decent shape now, and it's not been touched in.
But it's not in bad shape on the inside. It's
Well,
solid.
yeah,
Oh, yeah, it's solid as heck, man. It's got beams in there the size of trees, you know what I mean? It's
One portion of the roof's got some, needs some work. Going on that south end, he's still working on it one side. So what's council's wishes on the doors? Is that a motion? Do I have a motion to replace the doors?
Find anything more. That's my question. I don't think you're gonna find a better deal than that.
No, we're not.
We got the
Because
money, Jane? What's it coming out of, Bill?
Yeah, Kathy, I think you and I'll have to make a park in the general fund, make a park, line. in the
Yes, you
general
will.
fund
Yes,
eventually.
I think that'll need to be done.
But I don't see why not. I mean, if you
Well,
look
I
at
see where we-
contingency, we got some in contingency right now.
Yeah, and we have exceeded, well exceeded last year's income tax.
Yes, we need to also refund
I
as
figured
well. I
we
thought
figured
we
we
might
would.
have a meeting. So yeah, I mean, it's there.
I make a motion that we go ahead and replace the doors and have all the work done by Smart Construction, cost not to exceed $4,675.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Neil,
yes.
Ralph,
Yes.
Joe,
Yes.
Mary Jane,
Yes.
Kathy,
like to proceed with an estimate on metal on the building? Would they want to okay that, or would you want to wait? What would you like to know what it's going to cost, something to be thinking about? Do you want to be able to contact some people? I can tell you this.
Metal siding.
Yes, I can tell you that I've talked with the gentleman that runs the old antique store down here. I'm sorry, I don't remember his name.
No,
He's
we
the
got
other guy. Whatever his name is, I can't
Or
remember.
the old jamboree one.
Yes. Anyway, he is the head of the school down in Dayton, with the trade school, where you go to trade school. And
CTC.
I actually contacted him about up there where the swing sets are at, about bringing some heavy equipment in, because we need to have a dozer to clean that out. And that's right up their alley for training these kids. They come in and do it for a donation. Unfortunately, their heavy equipment is tied up right now on some moss somewhere that they're working on. Don't know when they're going to be done. But I suggested to him that we might be interested in putting metal in that building up there, and he said they could start that tomorrow with those kids. So there is the possibility of saving some serious labor there cost for a donation to the school. I don't know exactly what the donation amounts to. It's up to council whether we want to pursue that or not. I'm asking for opinions, please.
I think that it would be a good deal, learning process for the kids, and
I think it'd
it
be a
would
good
save
avenue
us
to
a lot of
pursue,
money.
to save the building and protect it and move
Yeah.
on. I mean,
Would that
why not?
include the roof or just the siding on the?
They would be willing to do any work on it that we, that falls within their category. Now, I did not ask specifics because I asked general questions because it depends on what council chose and which direction council chose to go.
But we can get estimates or get
It'd
some
be nice,
costs
right, it'd be nice to
on
know.
what that, I think that we
On the
should
cost of the metal.
proceed with doing that.
Yeah.
And just-
At least we know,
Yes.
you know.
I mean, if you're gonna put the doors up, you might as well try and save the rest.
Well, yes.
Yeah, the roof would be too.
So you're talking about we would purchase the metal and then they would install it?
Yeah.
Somebody told me there's a place in Indiana somewhere towards Indianapolis.
It's
where
the
you-
Greenfield seconds.
Greenfield, yeah, where you get the seconds and.
There's also a new
Save a lot of
Amish,
money.
there's a new Amish great big barn over by Fountain City that they are now getting ready to fire up, if they have not already fired up, and they are gonna be making metal, so that's a possibility of some inexpensive comparable
So
costs.
we'll get a couple of estimates then, so I know a couple of options.
If that's what council chooses to do.
And it sounds like the stuff for the side of the building is more or less for appearances and, get the thickest grade.
Most all that metal is getting towards 25-year-old metal, age is guaranteed for 20 years on it. I mean, all of it's usually 20, you don't want to get more than less than 25 years of lifespan on it. So, well, if the council chooses to do that, we'll have Neil get some estimates on that, and then you can contact Mr. Schmeyers on the doors and get him started when he sees fit on that.
Does the council agree to that? Go ahead.
I
We
make
should
a
have
motion that
listened.
we do that and include the roof too. if we- How bad do you think the roof is?
I don't think the whole roof has to be, I think it's just one spot down there. I don't think it's leaking, the metal is tore up from wind damage.
Yeah.
I think the old shingles under there, can you tell what's leaking? I haven't been in there, you guys did.
It didn't look like it to me. It looked like it was dry in there.
So I think it's a matter of putting a new, you could probably patch some metal work in there and put a new coating on it. It probably, we'll just have to take a look at it. Nobody really climbed up or took a solid look at it yet, so. We're not gonna do all that without what council decides to do, so.
Well, I make a motion that we do all that and
We get the
get stuff and
estimates.
get using it. Yeah.
Okay, is there a second?
I'll second.
And this is also a motion to pay for the doors, right?
Yes.
We already did that.
Oh,
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
It's
right.
just a motion.
Yeah, we
Just a motion to get
Okay,
estimates.
it's just a motion to get estimates. I'm sorry, guys, I'm somewhere else here now. I apologize. Roll call, please.
Neil,
Yes.
Joe,
Yes.
Ralph,
Here.
Bill, Kathy.
Yes.
Mary Jane.
Yes.
Streets,
I really don't have anything right at the moment. Does
I
anybody
do have
else
a
have
question, and since we have.
any? I think we're at a kind of standstill, actually, are we not, really?
There by the post office, there's a sewer ring that's extended up about that far. Is that
It's
stores,
ordered.
is that, okay?
Oh,
Well, good.
under streets, I noticed that there have been some curbs painted. But down there, that one spot down there, we discussed, or I brought it up a couple of times. What's that? The building across from you,
Creative
out
Learning.
there in front.
Creative
Again,
Learning.
when the traffic going north has the red light, and you're coming off of Walnut, making a left-hand turn onto Washington, going south, that, I've stopped, I don't know how many times, if somebody's parked there, it's just a congested area, and I'm afraid that somebody's going to get in. And I think that curb needs to be painted, another car lane up there in front of that building. And the motorcycles, when they park there, and that front wheel is sticking out, and it's out farther than if there's a car parked there. And that's no good. It's a wonder there hasn't already been a wreck there.
So there's a standard for corner backwards, 20 feet or further.
Yeah, I know there is, but if it's a safety hazard, which I think it is, something needs to
Did
be
he paint
done.
the 30 feet this time when he was painting the other day? I don't, to be honest, I didn't notice. Did he?
It looks nice, but there's still a lot of curbs. that
If
need
you
to
go
be
too
done.
far up, if you keep going farther north up that way, when they come in there and load them people out front, you can't do away with that parking spot in front of that building, so you can't keep going to the south too much farther. They won't be able to unload those folks there. Because then you're going to get up there to the residents start parking and
Yes,
they're going to have no
That's
place to
true, but is there not a sign or something that you could put up there just for those people getting on and off?
Be designated out.
Yeah, a
Loading-
designated
loading zone
parking area.
For a certain time of day.
Yeah. Just for those handicapped people.
Let's look into it.
Something needs to be done.
Okay, let us look into it, you know, let's take a look
Yeah.
at it, see what we got, and talk to Chief,
And I
and see what else we can
think
do
it
here,
looks
okay?
nice of the curbs that's already been painted, but there's a whole lot more that need to be painted.
I told Billy I wanted to have all that stuff done before I went there, so
Okay.
that's the plan.
Even though there's black marks
Haven't
already
taken-
on what he has
Well, there's
painted.
gonna be, you know, it sharps and semis with the 53
Oh,
foot
yeah,
trailers, tough
that's
to
true.
get around.
Yeah.
And these
But
younger
it
truck
makes the
drivers,
town
just
look
don't- these
neater.
younger truck drivers can't drive like us old guys
I
can.
know.
They learn
They
how
just
to drive a
don't-
truck.
Lights,
There's 5 lights out in town, the numbers have been recorded, and mine's about 1. And should be fixed within the next 36 to 48 hours maybe, is that right, Sam?
Yep.
all right, under lights, I've got a little something to be pondered. I met with Mr. Bob Stallman a week and a half ago.
Yeah. Yes, you did August 26th.
James sit in on the meeting. He wanted just touch base with us. Our contract is coming up in March. They have changed some things through the state as to what they can do now. The margins now are shrinking. He won't know for sure until the middle of next month where they're going to be at and what they're going to be able to do. Basically, is what he's telling us in so many words is, doesn't know whether they will be able to offer us the deal that they offered us last time with the street lights bundled into it. We knew that was a one-time thing when they did it. A lot of other people come on board after we did it. He's going to get back with us, give us the best deal he can. Just making council aware of the fact that we most likely will not have a bundle on the streetlights. And the next negotiation, we some, but it's pretty certain that we won't have it all as we have now. So make you aware of the fact that he's going to get back with us, and well, when do we decide maybe a meeting for council, December?
Yeah, I think he's gonna come to our December 3rd council
Yeah,
meeting.
and he'll bring more information for everybody, and by then he will have the numbers.
Do you remember what that cost was before we got that deal? That, was it like $7,000 a year?
No.
17,000.
About 18,000, that's
So
total.
almost 18,000 years.
Which you know it's more than that now.
This is the only time it's been bundled, is this last contract.
This is the only time it's bundled, because if you remember, if they had not come,
Aggregate.
had they not come on board and offered that, we was going to turn them out, because we didn't have money to pay.
I remember that.
So it was, and I thank him, because we would have been dark had they not come to us and
Absolutely.
made us that offer. But unfortunately, the state is tying our hands more and more, and they're not going to have the margin to be able to do that. The security plan is 90%, and 2014, next year, they drop from 90% down to 40%. That's their margin. Their margin shrinks 50% in 1 year. And in 2016, they go to zero on their margin of what they're going to be able to make.
So they'll still be able to give us some sort of deal next time, and then the time after
It
that.
won't be a 3-year
It will
contract.
not,
It'll be a 3-year contract.
it will not be what it has been. We don't know what it will be. And this is being, and when I say their margin is shrinking, right now, they got 90% committed, 10. So the states, basically what the states tell them how much money they can make. Basically what they're doing. This year they could make 90, they're going to get down to where they're going to hardly make anything to bring electric to people because of the aggregate program. So it's going to get tighter and tighter and tighter. So just make me aware of the fact that they'll be here December. We most likely will have to budget
What about going with a different company?
with that, and that's fine. We can do that, but this is a PUCO regulation that everyone in the state's going to have to follow. So
Yeah,
yeah, there's nothing that says we can't. And I told him naturally that we would appreciate, because of the working relationship we have with them, we'd like to hear what they have to say first before we shop elsewhere.
sure.
I mean, I've already been receiving phone calls the last couple of months from people wanting to know about the village aggregate. And I told them that we're still under contract with EPNL Energy. I was thinking it was up in December. It's actually not up until March. So after he brings us the number in December, if we will decide what direction we need to go after that, as to whether we need to look around or whatever, see what he
Yeah,
offers.
there's not a competition anymore.
But we thank him for working with us up to this point, and hopefully we can continue, but money will decide that. Finance, sanitation,
With Neil's help, we got out about 33 letters. There's still a lot of improvements that need to be done. The old railroad track, the old Burke place, I've been since May or June trying to get these places even mowed, and I'm about ready to contact somebody else, but I need to get with Greg and see what's going on, because...
I talked to Greg here yesterday about that, and he pretty much told me, he says, look, I've got a lot of customers that need to be taken care of, they're going to come first. And if in fact, a few people need to go elsewhere to get
Oh,
something
well,
out,
that's all,
then,
yeah.
then go ahead.
Okay.
But he's swamped. I mean, the man's swamped, he can only do so much.
I'd like to try at least get it mowed once. I mean, it's
I know.
quick growing
You're right.
right
You're right.
now, but, I mean, not all together, but maybe next year we can spray or something over here. Nobody wants to keep it mowed. And I did contact the attorney about that property, and it proves that, well, we can't rely on the auditor's office here in Preble County. Had to go to the state and look at, what was the name I he gave me a certain description, and it shows that the man that's buying out the Arnett tool on contract is liable for this over here. And I know that we're holding the deed to that property. Again, it's in our safe, and I was told to get a letter to that guy, send the deed back, and until it's properly legalized, not to let him have that deed here. That happened, what, I don't know, 2 or 3 years ago or whatever, but
I'm confused. I know this is a big mess in the first
it
place.
is,
But is Arnett's name still on it?
it's still on there, but, and when I go by, when I send letters out, as far as a property owner is concerned, is the name that is on the auditor's list for the taxes and
Yes.
the property
Okay.
owners. But when there's a business, you can't do it that way. You have to go through the state, the Secretary of State's office. And Steve did that, and I have a copy of it in the file in there, if anybody wants to take a look at it. But that was his suggestion, since he doesn't want to mow it and keep it mowed, then I need to send him the letter instead of Arnett, and along with the deed. If he wants to turn that property over, I don't think that he can yet, because I don't know that it's really paid for. But until it's
Somebody
legalized,
has
if he
a
wants
lien.
to turn it over to us, he can. He has to do it the proper way, proper and legal way.
So
And
there's
right
no
now, it
business-
isn't like that.
There's no business going on here at this time.
No, they moved down on 40. They have a Lewisburg address.
Okay.
Now, they've also shut down.
They've also shut that down.
Oh, really?
That business is shut down too. So,
I was down there. I didn't go in, but there was a lot of cars and things going on there. That was just a month and a half ago. So I don't know. I don't know.
I know.
Well, I don't know either. I know a few years ago when he gave me the deed and I give it back to him because Jim said it still belonged to Jim
Yeah.
because he did a land contract. And if he defaults, it goes back to Jim. So technically Jim is still the owner until he clears that land
No,
contract.
not according to the state of Ohio. I'll have to show you that letter or that information I've got. But
It's
a mess.
money
It's
owed
still
to
going to come
someone.
out, it's still going to come back that he's going to have to go to an attorney and get it squared
yeah,
away.
if he
And
wants
do it
us to
legally.
have that, he needs to get it legalized. And until then, all the paperwork's going to go back to him.
Okay. Anything else, Mary Jane?
No, not right now.
Neil and I, this is kind of sanitation, Neil and I got together last week and we were talking, and apparently there's a lot of people that are upset with Rumpke around here. And
Oh, yeah.
Neil wanted me to see if the city of Richmond had any interest in collecting the garbage for the village. And I did that, and the mayor of Richmond, I guess, has no interest in doing any kind of cooperative thing.
Probably because of the state laws.
No, that can be done.
Oh,
It can be done. I mean, Preble County wouldn't like it because they're trying
Oh,
to
yeah.
keep all their waste
In
in,
their own landfill.
yeah, in their own landfill, but technically, it could have been done. But they're, it's a dead issue. Richmond's not interested in
Okay.
doing it, so.
Thanks, John.
Waste
Thanks for asking.
management's the only other one that I know
But-
of. that-
Finish the rest of the story now.
Well, and then Rick and I got to talking, and actually Neil talked about it too, is that, maybe it's a good thing for the village to invest in their own trash truck. And it could probably be done in a win-win situation where it would be a lot cheaper than Rumpke, and it would be a good service.
Yeah, I've heard
Citizens would be
complaints
glad
about
if they
Rumpke's pickup too,
Right.
and costs.
Well, for those people still using
That-
bags, if I understand right now, they can't do that. They
Yeah.
can't buy the individual bags and
That's-
use those.
Yeah.
It would be a big increase. I'm happy about it myself because I like the recycling end of it.
Well, when we tried this before, we
I
had to do
understand
it
that.
with the $5 administration fee, which was everybody didn't like. We were going to generate come up with was?
750, there's 744 residents at like $20 a month. I think that would work out to about 180,000 a year that would be generated. And of course, out of that, you got your cost of your truck, and you've got your actual disposal cost of where you take your trash, which with me, I would maybe test that Preble County thing and take it to, probably a lot cheaper to take it to Richmond
Closer.
than it's going to be to take it to the Preble County landfill. I don't see how they can legally do that because they're taking trash from out of state, but they're saying that our trash can't go out of state. This doesn't make any sense. And I think it's been tested before where you can't, commerce is commerce. Trash can go from New York to wherever. I mean, it happens all across the country. And if you try to stop it, it's ultimately challenged. I think that it's a free market and you can take your trash wherever you want to take it.
So inevitably, that opens up the door again for us to consider doing this.
Well, one
and
other
possibly
thing
doing this.
before I committed to taking my trash out of Preble County would be to think about when county administration has charge of fund distribution. We'd rather not be on the
Right.
bad end of that. I don't know, if that would cause us, it would cost us more than it saved us in the long run. I don't have any idea, but it's just a thought.
And what about,
They could negotiate a rate too. I mean, that could be done.
That might be
what about
better.
totes and all that? Would you want to go back to bags and have the adults tearing up bags?
Well, that would be a decision that we'd have to make on that.
Basically, the totes can be bought and then if given to the residents, and if they need extra ones, they would have to pay extra for
A
that.
rental, that's what they have to do.
Anyway,
With
that's what we're doing now.
Yeah.
I just didn't know the cost or anything.
Well, it's something
But when we get into it, I guess we can.
There's something to take a look at and maybe consider. We're
Yeah.
talking maybe what, a
I
couple?
would like to see us pick up our own trash.
Well,
Well,
maybe we can get some more numbers on that and discuss it.
Well, and it could be when you start throwing numbers around that everybody in town will shut up. I don't know, a lot of people will say no,
Oh,
we like it the way it
You
is. So
can't please.
No,
everybody
you can't.
that's there.
no.
it's
Really?
just a change and a lot of people don't want that. And I'm sure it is costing lots of people more money than it used to, I have no doubt.
So it said that, what's Rumpke charging the resident a month now? It's like $40 a
I
month?
pay $20 a month.
You pay 20?
So do we now. We didn't used to.
I think that may be what ours is, but then there's that fuel surcharge that
Somebody
goes on
told
top
me
of
it was a
that.
lot more. I don't know.
I don't get
They-
charged.
It is
I don't get
more than
charged
that.
for
Well, see,
surcharge.
I have a fuel surcharge that I have to pay now.
I don't have one.
Do you have a senior citizen?
I just priced it here a while back, and it was gonna be like $48 for 3 months, if I'm not mistaken.
Rosie?
Yes. That
Are you
sounds
resident?
about, ours is more than that.
Mine's $60 for every
Yeah.
trip.
That's what
Probably
I'm-
about
That's
right.
because I got the big container.
But part of that, I think, on ours is a fuel surcharge.
Because that's what I was charging at PC, and then when Rumpke bought out PC, they just carried it over.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
In my case,
It's the same price as PC was?
yes, exactly. That's what I did, was make a check out to Rumpke instead of PC.
Well, Joe, thank you for checking on that for us. Appreciate it. It's food for thought for later down the road. We never know what direction we'll have to go. Once they have the monopoly on it, which they have now, they can charge you
What
what
about-
they want. So, we'll see.
Is there somebody else here in this area, waste management? I know this is
No.
in Dayton, but I don't know how far they go.
Joe can answer that better than anyone else.
Do you know, Joe?
You have to, I mean, they're all in and find out.
I already did, they don't cover here.
You have to probably outside their range
Well,
if they're
yeah.
not interested in this far away for a while.
Where they would make money.
And they probably have their own dump site too, and they wouldn't want to dump in trouble. I don't know.
Okay, move on, BPA.
I don't have anything.
All right. We have a resolution here on the changing the insurance back to January 1 from April 1. Resolution 2014-24, a resolution to adjust the renewal date for the Village of New Paris health insurance policy. Whereas the village wishes to budget for health insurance premium costs more accurately in the annual budget compliant for the village, which become effective January 1, and whereas the tracking and recording of cost of benefits would be more efficient if done from January 1 through December 31st annually, be it therefore resolved by the Council of the Village of New Paris that the annual renewal of village health insurance policies will be adjusted from April 1st to January 1st of each year, beginning January 1, 2015, and be it further resolved that any annual increase in premium costs for these policies will be effective as of the first day of January each year. We've had the discussion, makes everything easier to go from January 1 to December 31st. We've had that discussion in the past. No one has any other questions? I need a motion to accept, please.
I'll make a motion to accept resolution 2014-24, to change the employee's insurance renewal date from April 1st to January 1st.
I'll second that.
Roll call, please.
Mary Jane?
Yes.
Kathy?
Yes.
Bill? Ralph?
Yes.
Joe?
Yes.
Neil?
Yes.
Do we need to pass this the first year? Do we go through this as the first reading, or do we have to have it back?
October, so I need an emergency.
I make a motion, we waive three reading rules and declare an emergency.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Neil?
Yes.
Joe?
Yes.
Bill?
Yes.
Ralph?
Yes.
Mary Jane?
Yes.
Kathy?
Yes.
Old business, don't know of anything, anybody got anything?
Well, we do, but I think we need to do an executive session to discuss that.
Okay. New business, trick or treat, time and day. Any suggestions? 31st, 6 to 8?
Yeah.
6 to 8, like I always
31st,
say.
Friday the 31st.
Be a true Halloween, right?
So be it.
You said 16?
Ain't that what it normally is?
Yeah.
That's what we always have at 6 to 8.
So be it. Anybody in the audience have anything before we move on?
There is a bill up there that needs to be approved if you'll be.
Oh, yeah, sorry, excuse me. I forgot. They had, when they had to have the brakes and everything put on the orange dump truck, the bill was $1,978. And typically we split this with BPA. So I need approval from council for $1,000 towards the repair of the truck to be paid to Ed's Garage. BPA's already passed the motion.
What was the amount?
$1,000.
That's our
Half.
fault.
That's our fault.
Okay. Go ahead.
I make a motion that we approve the repair of the brakes for our half to be $1,000.
I'll second that motion.
Roll call, please.
Neil?
Yes.
Joe?
Yes.
Ralph?
Yes.
Bill? Kathy?
Yes.
Mary Jane?
Yes.
I do have one question.
Yes.
Not urgent apparently, because it hasn't been done. But I'm wondering why the mayor's name is not correct on our signs coming in and out of town.
Oh, yeah.
Correct.
And who does that for us?
Chamber.
Billy always does, doesn't he? Or
Chamber.
Chamber pays for it.
You never know, maybe it won't have to be changed.
I'm assuming we passed all that crap, so I'm thinking that we need to change it. So should we just need to contact the chamber and ask them if they can take care of that for us?
I have no idea who does that.
The Chamber's done it.
I don't know what Chamber always did, I guess.
Yeah.
I will call and find out.
There you go.
One other thing on new,
Linda Ray.
one other thing under new business that I do want to bring up, and it's whatever council wants to do. I mean, spend a lot of money here, but I had Billy contact Brookville Rental up there where the playground area is at, up there beside the old school. You know, it's so full of poison and so thick that we can't get the backhoe in there without tearing stuff up and punching tires. We need a dozer in there to take that out. I have talked to Ron Morgan about donating some time And I think initially he said yes, but he won't give me a date as to when he could possibly get up there and do it. I'll just throw this out for council. At some point, we need to clean that up so we can get into the swing sets and see what we got and stuff like that. Or if they're salvageable, when we sandblast them, or we paint them, I'm sure they're concrete, we're going to have to dig them up and move them wherever the appropriate place will be, whenever the committee or whoever decides where that should be. Just to tell council, if we end up renting a dozer, it's $1,160 a week. That's what it costs to rent a dozer for a week up there, or it's $365 a day. So just putting that out for food for thought at the moment. We may, if Mr. Morgan don't get around to it, I may come back to council and ask their opinion on getting that done. He's hoping to have it cleaned up before Apple Fest, but it doesn't look like it's going to happen. So hopefully Mr. Morgan will get up there and help us out with that, but if he don't, the committee will have to get together and make a decision here and come back to council on that. I'm just throwing it out there. This time, I would need a motion to move into executive session to discuss employees' policies, please.
So moved.
Is there a second? Roll call, please. Kevin, please stay.
Neil,
Yes.
Joe,
Yes.
Ralph,
Yes.
Bill,
Yes.
Kathy, Mary Jane.
Yes.
Thank you. I need a motion to come out of executive session, please.
Motion made.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Neil,
Yes.
Joe,
Yes.
Ralph,
Yes.
Bill, Kathy.
Yes.
Mary Jane.
Next meeting will be October 6th, 7 p.m. Need a motion to adjourn?
Second.